All right, welcome back to Grit on the Rocks podcast, where we sip on whiskey sometimes. Sometimes we light cigars. But we always talk about cold, hard truths that some people might be afraid to admit. So pour yourself a drink if that's what you're into. Light up a cigar if that's what you're into. And let's talk about one of the most controversial, most argued, and most uncomfortable truths in the world of dating and, yes, sex. We're talking about the double standard. You know what I mean. The age-old reality that a man can sleep with 300 women and still be seen as a prize, while women who do the same are labeled as, quote-unquote, used up. This is Grit on the Rocks podcast, a Buenos Dias media production.
This podcast is a Buenos Dias media production.
This is the Grit on the Rocks podcast, where raw conversations meet smooth sips. Pull up a chair, pour your favorite drink, puff on your favorite cigar, and join us as we dive into the convos that matter. No scripts, no barriers, just unfiltered truth served straight up. Cheers to the real ones out there. Salud.
So now, before the internet explodes and angry tweets and messages start flying, let's be clear. I'm not saying here what's fair or unfair, and I'm not sharing here my personal opinion, but what the general perception is. And I'm just saying this how the world actually works. For real. Before the internet warriors come for me, let's get one thing straight. I'm not saying what's fair or what's nice. I'm just saying how the world actually works. All right? This conversation isn't about feelings, it's about reality. So let's break it down. Why is this a thing? Why are men respected for their body count while women get judged for theirs? Is it pure biology, social conditioning, or just plain hypocrisy? Today we're hitting every single angle, the raw truth, the opposing arguments, the hard facts, and the uncomfortable reality most people won't admit. So let's get into it.
The views and opinions expressed by the host, guest, and/or participants of this show do not necessarily reflect the opinions of Buenos Dias Media LLC, its associates, partners, and show sponsors. The content is intended for entertainment purposes and should not be construed as professional advice. Listener discretion is advised.
All right. First off, why do men get praised for sleeping around while women get shamed? The reality is that it comes down to, like business, supply and demand. Let's be honest here. A man has to earn sex. A guy can't just exist and get laid. It's not how it works. He has to build status, charisma, looks, maybe power, money, or something that makes him desirable. A woman is born with value. In most cases, she doesn't even have to earn attraction. The moment she hits 18, she has men lining up to take her out. Sad reality. No skill needed. No work required. Just be there. Swipe right and boom, you have options. That's why when men rack up bodies, to most people it seems impressive. It means he's got something that women want. Meanwhile, when a woman does the same, it's considered too easy, which is why people don't respect it. Again, this is the general perception, even if they won't admit it, right? Because we all know that there's people that love to go against the grit and say what they think will make them sound most virtuous. You know, the virtual signaling, how it goes. But this is the general perception. It's like people showing off their money, right? If you have one guy that builds a business from scratch and grinds for years and becomes a millionaire, right? And then you have this other guy that hit the lottery. Who do you think people will admire more and respect more? Of course, the guy who built his wealth because he had to bust his ass to build it. Same concept. Like it's the reason why a rich man is admired, but a rich woman who inherited her wealth probably isn't. A man who built his body is respected, right? Because he put hard work into building it. But a woman who gets surgery probably isn't. Same concept. So let's look at biology. Because whether you love it or hate it, this double standard, when it comes to this double standard, nature backs it up. Fact, men and women are built differently when it comes to sex. No matter how much people want to say now, it's the same thing, it's the same. My friends, it's not the same. Men are wired to spread their seed. That's why most guys, in most cases, they don't feel emotionally attached after hooking up with a woman. But a woman is wired biologically to protect their womb. That's why they get attached after sex and are naturally more selective. The word selective, and we said this before, is why when we also look at men and women, when it comes to infidelity, it's frowned upon more upon women because it is selective. You selected. A man with many women, general perception, is seen as a leader because in ancient times, the strongest, highest status men had the most wives. That's why women are still drawn to powerful, high status men today. Again, most women, we're not saying all, we cannot generalize, but you know what I mean. Right? But a woman who sleeps with too many men loses her value because back in the day, if a woman wasn't exclusive, a man couldn't be sure he was raising his own kids or if it was another dude's. Back then, in some societal groups, right, if a woman wasn't pure, quote unquote pure, the man couldn't marry her because she wasn't exclusive to him. So yeah, it's biological, not just society being mean. And speaking of high performing men, let's take a quick break to hear from our brotherhood at the Apex Gentlemen's Guild.
Looking to connect with like-minded men who share your drive for success and passion for the finer things in life? Welcome to the Apex Gentlemen's Guild, a private members club for men who value ambition, camaraderie, giving back, and personal growth. For a limited time while we're fully remote, you can join the guild for free. Gain access to tons of motivational content, exclusive events, insightful discussions, and a network of high-performance individuals. Don't miss this chance to elevate your social circle. Request to join today at facebook.com/groups/Apex Gentlemen's Guild or give us a like at facebook.com/Apex Gentlemen's Guild. The Apex Gentlemen's Guild, excellence forged in unity.
All right. So now that we've laid out why this double standard exists, let's be fair and hit the opposing view. A lot of people argue it's 2025. We're not cavemen anymore. Women should have the right to do whatever they want without judgment. And that is true. Slut shaming is outdated and misogynistic. Men love to judge women for their past, but have no problem being promiscuous themselves. And hey, I hear you. Society has changed. Women can work, make their own money, and aren't reliant on men for survival anymore. That is true. So shouldn't the sexual double standard die too? The problem is, human nature doesn't evolve as fast as technology. human nature doesn't change just because society does, right? Women are still biologically wired to want, and again, when I say women, I don't mean all women, there's always the exception. But women are still biologically wired to want the highest status man. That's why they don't chase the nice, quiet guy with no options. It's why celebrities, rappers, athletes, right? In either fighting sports or just like, sports, they get, women, and again, not all women, but women just throw themselves at them, right? Because they are wired to want the highest status man. That's why they don't chase the nice, quiet guy with no options. As a guy, I think we've all been there when we try to be the nice guy and you see these beautiful women go for the thug or, the do-nothings. And you're like, why? Why do women always chase the bad boy? Like, right? So, most women still prefer men who are desired by other women. That's why, quote-unquote, players still get girls, even though women claim they hate them. It's social proof. Men are still wired to value exclusivity. That's why they don't want to commit to a woman who's been with every dude in town. Most men will happily sleep with a promiscuous woman, but very few will commit to her. Why? Because deep down, men want to know that the woman they invest in isn't for everybody and just for them. We can argue all day about fairness, but reality doesn't care. Men and women are judged differently because they play the game differently. So before we continue, let's cool off for a moment and take some time for some whiskey bar wisdom.
Whiskey bar wisdom.
All right, there's nothing magical about it. Here, drink this. Tell me what's on your mind. Come on.
Whiskey bar wisdom. You provide the stories, we provide the opinions, unprofessional advice and the laughter. Great on the Rocks podcast.
All right, welcome to Whiskey Bar Wisdom. And this message comes to us through our Contact Us section of gritontheRocks.com. And it comes from Marcus in Atlanta. It says, hey, Grit on the Rocks, love the podcast. But here's my dilemma. I met this girl. She's amazing, fun, smart, beautiful. Everything's great. Then I found out she had a wild phase in college. We're talking about body count in the triple digits. She swears she's changed, but man, I can't stop thinking about it. My boys are clowning me. My gut tells me no, but my heart says maybe. Am I being insecure? Should I just get over it? Whew, this is a tough one. It's a tough one because we all have the right to change, right? I've known plenty of men and women who lived, I don't know, their past was way different. I mean, I constantly tell people who know me now, and I tell them, like, I am not in the slightest the same person I was in my 20s, let's say. So we all do have the right to change. Now, we also have to understand that our past, our actions have consequences. And sometimes your past catching up to you are the consequences. The judgment that people might pass on you based on your previous decisions might be the consequences. So I gotta say, Mark, trust your gut, right? I mean, people do have, again, people can change. But a woman's past isn't just a number. I mean, it tells you, and this goes for men too, and maybe not this, because again, if a man has a high body count, some women find that desirable. Not all women, but I mean, it happens. But yeah, maybe her choices, right, in life, it tells you, right, how the decision making tells you how a person values life, right? And people swear that they're different now, but sometimes they're not, right? I think it takes time to know that. So, we know that men want loyalty and women want leadership, and to Marcus, if your instincts are throwing you red flags, I mean, I'd listen to them. But also, again, it takes time. So maybe not jump into something serious yet. I don't know. Like, take your time to really see. Because if your gut is telling you no and your instincts are telling you, I mean, you might want to listen to them, right? I don't know. I would guess every person is different. Some men don't care about that. Because we say here, men want loyalty, but maybe this woman now is loyal. We don't know that, right? Every case is different. And some men, to be honest, some men don't care about that. Some men get turned on by that. Some men get turned on by parading their spouse and having a woman who is wanted and desired. And I mean, that's a topic for another day, but I gotta say, if your instincts and your gut are telling you no, but your heart is saying maybe, then maybe just slow it down, take some time, pay attention to the patterns, learn more about this person, see how much they've truly changed, and then you can make a decision, I guess. I mean, that's just my 2 cents, right? So let's move on to the harsh reality. Like it or not, I don't think this is changing. So hear the truth. It doesn't matter if it's fair. The truth is, reality doesn't care. Most women will always chase the highest status men, even if he has options. Listen, some women don't even mind that this man is already taken. Again, we've all seen the celebrities, we've seen the scandals, we've seen the athletes and how they get, pussy thrown at them all the time. And some women don't care if they're married or not, if they have kids, it just doesn't matter. But some women will always chase the highest status men, even if he has options. And some men will always prefer women who are selective and is not for the streets. That's why a king can sleep with many women and still be respected, but a queen who does the same loses her crown. It's not about right or wrong. It's just how it is. It's just a game. It's just how we as humans are. It's embedded in us. It's just how the game is played. And if you refuse to accept how the game works, the truth is, you lose. So that's it for today's episode. If you like this conversation, make sure to drop a comment. If you're watching on YouTube or Rumble, drop us a comment. What do you think? Again, this isn't based on my opinion. It's the general perception, is what I found, is what questions I asked, the answers I got. It's all put together into this episode. But drop us a comment. If you agree, disagree, what do you think? Let us know. Subscribe to our YouTube and Rumble channel. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Grit on the Rocks. Submit your stories for Whiskey Bar, Wisdom, Barstool, Banter, Hero of the Day. Or again, if you just want to send us, a message, right? You just want to write to us and, chat with us and have a conversation. Send us your message. Go to gritontheRocks.com, scroll to the bottom to the Contact Us section. And if you're a brand looking to sponsor the show, hit us up at gritontheRocks.com or get your logo featured, get your name in front of thousands of listeners, and be part of this movement. So thank you for tuning in. Now go out there and play the game the right way. Remember to keep your spirits high, your glasses full, your cigars lit, and your conversations meaningful. Until next time, this is Grit on the Rocks podcast, a Buenos Dias media production.